Podcast, episode 20. King, I made it. Believe it, we made it. 2-0 and counting. Episode title off the top of the dome. Robberies and knockouts. Kendrick Johnson, Matthew Wells. Come from the desert tones of Dallas, Texas. We had a crazy weekend in the octagon and in the ring. Where should we start at, brother?
Honestly, I think we got to start at the top with Triple G Canelo. But before we get into that, we do have a guest on this episode. We do have a special guest.
Man, if you watch the UFC Pittsburgh this weekend, in between the Canelo craziness, Kamaru Usman, the man that should have got a knockout of the night with a brutal, spectacular knockout, will be in the house later on in the show.
Yes, sir. The Nigerian Nightmare himself will be joining us. But first, let's hop into Triple G Canelo, and let's talk about this drama, man, because that's really, despite the great fight that it was, it's marred by this incompetent judging that everybody's talking about.
But my whole thing is why people put in for boxing. A, it's been like that for years, like before we were even born. B, it happens in UFC as much as it happens in boxing. So that, like, that's a scarf for boxing. That's how combat sports go. Like they say, don't leave the hands of the judges.
Yeah, they don't. But I don't like the whole "don't leave it in the hand of the judges" thing, man. You got to be.
What do you mean? You take them out of it, there's no controversy. Like Kamaru did. He's an erase. I know.
Yeah, you take them out. You got to worry about judges. But I mean, if you have a judging system in place, you should be able to rely on that as an effective system. And you have judges like Adelaide Byrd scoring this fight 118 to 110, basically giving Triple G only 2 rounds out of 12, which if anybody actually watched the fight, there's no way anybody won 10 rounds in that fight.
No, there's no way.
Much less Canelo winning 10 rounds.
I watched the undercard. Shout out to Joseph Diaz. We need to get that man on the show. He a Golden Boy fighter that's emerging star. He won a tough fight on the co-main. And then, of course, I watched Triple G and Canelo. I scored it. Yeah, I know I picked Canelo. I scored it 115, 113 for Triple G. He was more active, and he landed the more powerful punches of the round of the fight. But the thing was, Canelo took his foot off the gas and gassed out between 7 through 10. And you cannot do that at a fight of this magnitude. And a lot of people in the boxing game may not admit this, but the winner of the night was Jermall Charlo. He's a guy that's a contender. Matter of fact, he's a mandatory for Triple G for his WBC fight, and it's undercoverly known that Golden Boy / Oscar De La Hoya and company don't want to see him matched up with Canelo because unlike the fight we saw on Saturday, he doesn't play you hit me, I hit you, you hit me, I hit you. He moves, he does angles, and he got power, so he's more likely to catch Canelo or Triple G with something they don't see, and he's a problem at our man Kamaru from Saturday night. He's a problem in the 160-pound division.
Yeah.
But back to the main event, I think Canelo, both fighters did what you knew they were going to do. We learned a couple things. We know that Triple G do got a chin. It was a myth. We ain't never seen it. But those punches that he was walking through, then Canelo to put people to sleep literally for 5 minutes.
Yeah,
he's altered the 2 most brutal knockouts I've seen in person. The one to Amir Khan and the one to James Kirkland. So I know the man got power. He was taking it like a champ and kept coming like the boogeyman that he was. He kept coming for Canelo, and Canelo kind of cracked him that pressure a little bit and gassed.
Yeah, like for the people watching on our YouTube video here, like got some of the highlights showing. Man, it was amazing. Like I tweeted out, I was like, one of those G's has to stand for granted. Talking about Triple G's chin because he was taking some power shots, boy, and just
that's the last 2 rounds too.
Completely, like in pro wrestling, you got the term of a no sell, where you take a bump and you get right back up, and it act like you don't hurt it. He was no-selling every one of Canelo's punches. The entire fight. He no-sold everything. And that was like, man, he just hit you with that and you just, nothing, kept coming forward. Like, man, it made you wonder. I was like, what is this dude? Is he on something right now? Or is that dude's chin just really that rock hard? Or is Canelo really not hitting that hard? Which one is it?
Well,
you know,
Canelo's hitting hard. He's put people to sleep. Like I said, I've seen the two most brutal knockouts, but you already know one of my things I harp on. That's why they got weight classes. Triple G's the bigger guy, and you saw the bigger guy were able to withstand that punishment and keep on moving.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It was just amazing, man, to take that much punishment and keep coming forward, no matter what, keep the pressure on high. I mean, like, you got to look, man, just the sheer volume and the pressure that dude was putting on. Like, I mean, when I watched the fight initially the first time, like, I wasn't scoring round by round because I was trying to keep up with UFC, which was going on at the same time. And actually, right when that fight started, Gillespie and who was he fighting? Gillespie was fighting Jason Gonzalez. Gregory Gillespie and Jason Gonzalez. That was fight of the night. Fight of the night was going on right at the beginning of Triple G Canelo.
I didn't see it.
So I'm sitting here kind of doing this. I had both. I was like, man, like, obviously I want to pay attention to Triple G Canelo. That's the biggest fight. But then at the corner of your eye, you see all this crazy action going on the UFC side. So I was like, man, but even though I wasn't scoring round by round to say, like, yeah, Canelo won round 4, 5, whatever, looking at the whole thing as a whole, just watching it, I was like, oh, Triple G won that fight. And when I heard the scores, I was like, 115, 113, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, it was a close fight, but Triple G won. 118, 110, hell no. Hell no. Hell no.
You get more mad about stuff like that than I do. That had you hot, man. But one thing I will say this was a terrible decision.
Yes.
But it seems like people that don't know much about the sport, a.k.a. Screaming A. Smith, want to harp on that. She needs to be tested, like, not tomorrow, today. Like, yeah, it was a bad decision, but
he's just trying to get them sound bites.
It was that. And then Teddy Atlas talking about corruption. Come on now.
Hey, it is not. I mean, hell, boxing has been accused of corruption since the beginning. So it is. I wouldn't put it past it, honestly. Oscar De La Hoya caught Adelaide Bird before the fight. Hey, go ahead and fill in that scorecard right now because that's what it seemed like she did. That's what it seemed like she did.
That scorecard right now.
That's what it seemed like, man. That's what it seemed like. Just being honest with you.
He said, come on, fill that scorecard right now.
That's what it seemed like. But, it is what it is at the end of the day. You get the tie. Obviously, that's good for the promotion. It's good. It's better for Vegas because they don't have to pay out Canelo or Triple G on the winners. Obviously, the only way you want to bet in Vegas is if you bet the draw or if you bet the over, which most people, when they go to Vegas, they go to bet on fights, they're picking a winner. So
wrong decision. It's somebody who bets on fights. Don't do it.
Yeah, so somebody, there were some people posting on social media that they bet the draw, and I think it paid out pretty good too if you bet the draw.
You bet the draw, it was like 1 to 10. So yeah, you put $100 out, you won a G.
Yeah, it paid out pretty good.
The ultimate draw was Mayweather McGregor. It was 1 to 40, bro. That would have been a shot. You put $100 down, you win 4,000, bro.
Yeah, but everybody does win at the end of the day. People on social media saying, we're not gonna, we're out on boxing. We're not gonna watch the rematch. Yeah, whatever. When
the rematch will just get more ratings than the first one.
Exactly.
Because see, this is where the conspiracy theory comes in. The reason that they want a rematch, other than make some more money, is with Mayweather. There will not be no Mayweather McGregor next fall.
No.
So they can even have it here in Dallas. Jerry Jones could have won on Saturday night too, because a lot of people, as I'll discuss on this show, don't realize they wanted to have Triple G Canelo here in Dallas, and then they got the September 17th date, which is big for Mexico independence and big for boxing viewership, and then Mayweather and McGregor. Basically, De La Hoya was running his mouth behind the scenes, and like, yeah, we got that day, and Mayweather's like, oh, really? So you think you're going to be punking me like that? And in Vegas, they can't have mega fights within a 3-week window, hence why Mayweather McGregor was August 26th. Right. What was that? 3 weeks from Saturday night. Yep. And they couldn't bust in that promotional window. And as a result, MGM was like, the only way this fight will not be at T-Mobile Arena the same night as you, if you take this fight outside the state, is that you have it right here at T-Mobile Arena, September 16, 2017. So they kind of forced Golden Boy's hand. So I don't know if Golden Boy has some bitter taste or what. And with the fact that Jerry wants to have a mega fight here in Dallas, there's a shot that Dallas. It's either going to be a T-Mobile where it was at Saturday or here in Dallas. It won't be nobody else. It ain't going across the sea, the Triple G's, neck of the woods, and nothing like that. But that would be kind of cool if we had it right here in our own backyard.
Hey, I love it. I'm in. Sign me up. I'll be there. I will be there. Sign me up for that. I'm all the way in. And for everybody else that's saying they're out on boxing right now, let them announce the date for this rematch.
Let it be up here in Dallas and watch 85,000 people show up.
Yeah. Come on now. Everybody's got that knee-jerk reaction, but we know what the real deal is, for sure. So, that being said, that's what we got. Any other takeaways from that fight before we get into our interview with Kamaru Usman, the Nigerian nightmare?
Both fighters are great fighters. Canelo is definitely vulnerable at 160, but he's not a real 160-pound fighter. Mm-hmm. And Triple G, his best days is behind him, but he's still the kingpin. But like I said, he's definitely his time. He's like maybe a year or two of being a dominant champion. His time is ticking. Some youngsters gonna cut that head in the next year or two. Well, I think it's Jamal Charlo got it mixed up. If the fight happens. I don't know with the promotional ties and stuff. It's a realistic chance, but Triple G has options because they're talking about Miguel Cotto showing up, who will absolutely destroy because Canelo destroyed him. Mm-hmm. And you saw what he did to Canelo, and he's way smaller. That wouldn't even be a fair fight. Yeah, he just he just living off his name. But that's like I thought. They're both two of the top 10 fighters in the world, but they're not the best fighter in the world.
Yeah, it was a good night for boxing. I think in terms of what we saw in the ring. Everything surrounding it after the fact, terrible. Judging, terrible. Just speaks to everything, everything wrong with the sport of boxing comes down to terrible judging. But I agree with you, man. It was a damn good matchup. When you saw two guys, you saw a clash of styles in the guy that was always moving forward versus the counterpuncher, and how both fighters dealt with that and adjusted throughout the fight. Hey, best of boxing that you can put on. I will say this real quick. Everybody's one thing that's really not true. Everybody's been saying, boxing is putting on the best fights possible.
They are having a better year, bro.
Yeah, they're having a better year, but at the same time, let's be real. Like the UFC has put on some of their best of the best against this year too. We still have a few more months to go before the year's closed out. We got listen, Kevin Lee told Tony Ferguson, that's two of the best lightweights you can put together right now.
I see what you're saying, but as of right now, we're judging it on a scale of 1 to 10. UFC is getting a 3 and boxing's getting a 7 when it comes to putting fights and generating revenue and all that and putting champions. We had Klitschko, Ward, we had the fight Saturday. I know Mayweather McGregor, the fight wasn't, but the event gives it positive. We had our boy Earl Spence and Kell Brook. They got champions versus champions and selling in the ring that people want to see. Right now, people want to see Kevin, but a lot of people don't know Kevin. Like people that know him want to see him, but his name's not known to get that eye-popping attention. Like there's more buzz with the GSP Bisping fight, which people don't really care, but since it's GSP, people do want to see. GSP can fight some dude from the stands. They want to see it.
That's true.
So it's kind of like I see what you're saying, but UFC needs to close strong.
Oh yeah.
They need to close strong.
They got to close really strong, and I think they have the possibility to do that. Especially if Conor comes back and headlines a card before the end of the year, which I don't think is going to happen.
No, I think it's going to be. But I got sources that tell me him and Nate Diaz 3 early 2018.
Man, be a good way to kick off the year for sure. But yeah, boxing's doing great. They're having a great year. And Triple G Canelo was, like I said, in terms of how the fight actually played out inside the ring, was definitely an example of that. So, but let's hop into our guests. Right now, we have the Nigerian nightmare, Kamaru Usman, coming off of a victory over Sergio Moraes at UFC Fight Night Pittsburgh, going on at the same time as Triple G Canelo. And he fought on the main card. This whole card was on FS1. There was no UFC.
Dudes were getting finished, bro. I watched it on DVR. Dudes were getting up out of there.
Yeah, it was a great finish. Absolutely great finish. Kamaru knocked him out in the first round. Made Moraes do like a somersault on the way down. It was just vicious power.
And put the whole division on notice.
Yeah.
What is he? What is he, man?
What?
Kamaru, what is he?
What do you mean?
He's a problem.
Oh, he's a
What's
problem.
that?
Confused me there for a second. I don't have the answer, apparently.
Hey, this is breaking, not changing subject. Trevor Whitman wants to come on the podcast later on. Do you want to do one this week to have him speaking just so we can get him on, or try to get set up for next week?
We'll figure that out off the air.
We get instant messages in the show, man. We're growing the show. Episode 20 and growing.
Hey, if he wants to call in right now, we can do that too. But let's, in the meantime, while we figure that out, we're going to go ahead and play our interview that we recorded just literally before we started doing this. So here it is, Kamaru Usman joining us on the Slip and Dip podcast. Enjoy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Slip and Dip podcast. We're honored to have Kamaru Usman. He's a problem for UFC welterweights, but he's not a problem for Kendrick and Matt. Welcome to the podcast, Kamaru.
Hey, thank you for having me.
So how does it feel to shine on that big stage and kind of let people know that you're more than just a wrestler now? And why didn't they give you the bonus of the night, man? I feel bad for you. You didn't get that money.
Yeah, I mean, I thought that I had the best, as far as knockout victory of the night. I mean, it was an amazing night with a lot of finishes. But I felt like me and my teammate Gilbert Torino definitely had the best knockouts. And, to not get that bonus, it was disappointing. But at the end of the day, we played for 2 checks and we walked away with 2 checks.
What do you think you have to do to get somebody in the top 10 to get in the ring with you?
I don't know. I mean, if I have to kill somebody, I think that's probably the next thing. Because, I dominate him completely. That's not good enough. I outstrike him. It's not good enough. I sleep somebody. If that's not good enough, I don't know what is.
So this is your first finish since since that tough finale when you fought Hyder Hassan. How does it feel to finally get a finish? I know you've been in there, you've been getting decision after decision after decision to finally walk away with that knockout, a spectacular first round knockout at that. How does that feel about your elevations in your fight game?
Well, I mean, it doesn't really make any difference to me. The finish is for me, the most important thing is winning the fight, because you could have exciting fights and whatnot, but you lose 2-3 in a row, you might get to X. Anybody can get a finish. 2 guys can come in there, swing for the fences, only one guy connects, the other guy goes down. And then the other guy says, you know what, I should have been trading. If I'd have fought more technical, I probably would have got him. Maybe next time. No, that means nothing to me. At the end of the day, you say decision after decision. It wasn't just decision after decision. It was completely dominating. It was a unanimous decision. Each of those fights, I had 10-8 rounds on multiple occasions. And so it wasn't just me getting a decision, scraping out a win. No, I dominated. And if you look at the stats, I think I have absolutely the best stats ever in the history of the division in 5 fights in deficit. Of strikes landed and strikes absorbed. So, it wasn't just that. I've been dominating my opponents, and I just had to put on a different hat and go out there and, get something that people respond to.
Yeah, I'm not trying to say, it wasn't like you were squeaking out wins by any means, because coming into this fight, everybody that I talked to, everybody that I read, doing their pre-fight breakdowns, predictions, whatnot, everybody had you winning this fight. Everybody thought that this was the only lock of the whole fight card, was you going out there and getting that W. And how much, I know you do, your announcing thing as well. So how much do you pay attention to all that pre-fight stuff, or do you just completely tune it out?
I mean, when it comes to other people, of course I tune it out, because those people aren't going to fight the fight. I'm going to fight the fight. And so, yeah, of course I tune all those out. But, at the end of the day, people are, some people are smart to where they understand that, hey, that's a guy that I should not bet against, that I will not bet against anymore. And, I beat up 5 guys in a row easily. And so they realize, hey, you know what, this is a guy we can get behind, because he will be the future champion of this division. So, which is why everybody pretty much begged me to win that fight.
Kamaru, this is a two-part question. Do you plan on getting back in the cage before the end of the year? And who in the top 5 do you want to fight? Or top 10?
Absolutely. December 2nd, UFC Detroit. If Aldo Sanchez can stop being a girl and come out of hiding, then we can definitely make that happen. But I absolutely doubt he will. He hit before. When he had to fight a little guy in Conor McGregor, he did. So now imagine him having to fight a monster like me. He definitely gonna be under the ground.
What's your deal with the Sanchez? Were you not impressed also with his win over Neil Magny?
No, I'm not impressed. I'd have did worse. Neil Magny doing stupid kicks, slipped the bell, and was so afraid of the jiu-jitsu that he just didn't even try to get up. I will beat Neil Magny down to where he wouldn't have to even be afraid. I wouldn't even need to take him down. And RDA knows that in fighting me, he's going to fight a real welterweight. And that's just a problem you don't want to have to deal with.
So when you go on the mic, was that since you knew that you were going to win, was that already plotted out? Like, hey, I'm gonna let these people know who I am, or was this just whatchamacallit, just something that's part of what you need to do to move up and get where you want to go?
No, I'm a very calculated guy. Opportunity is when preparation meets. Is when the timing and preparation comes together. That's luck right there. When timing meets preparation, that's luck. And I stay ready all the time. It was already plotted down. I train so hard and I study so hard to where I know my abilities. So when I say I am the future champion of this division, I'm not just blowing smoke like some of the other clowns in the division. I.e. Colby Covington, but I mean what I say, and everybody knows that. I have never had a close fight in there, and I mean it. And so when I say that's legitimately what I mean. And I'm just a guy that people don't want to fight. I'm a guy that don't want to fight. I'm a guy no one wants to deal with. And hopefully, I pray that RDA is gonna man up and say, you know what, I'm gonna test myself against this guy, because don't come in the division talking about a title shot when you beat two really nobodies.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, so where's the beef with Colby Covington? I know the whole ATT Black Zillions thing goes way back, but Colby's a guy that's been running his mouth quite a bit, and he's he's backed it up with performances in the octagon. But so why do you think he's a clown and one of those guys that shouldn't be mentioned with your name?
He's backed it up with 0 performances.
Okay.
Fair
enough.
Just because he scraped out some wins doesn't mean he backed it up in performance. Name one spectacular performance Colby Covington's had in the octagon.
I'm just saying, he's gone out there and gotten W's, so.
Exactly. He's got split decisions, W's. Decisions. He has not had a spectacular performance in 5 fights. I think you can look up the stats if I'm not mistaken. I have the record for most strikes landed and least strikes absorbed. I beat my opponents down from start to finish. That's what we call performances. I went out there and just basically, I never want to maliciously hurt a guy, but that's pretty much as close as you get in my last performance. And he's a clown that he's one of these new school guys. They watch a bunch of WWE tapes and they think, oh yeah, that's what's gonna get me to the next level, because that's what the drunk casual fans, that's what they care about. They care about the entertainment. They don't care about the integrity of the sport. They don't care about if you really have the skills to pay the bills. They just care if you can run your mouth. And he just ran his mouth. And so by him running his mouth, he's getting a little bit of attention from running his mouth. But one day he's going to have to actually back that up against a real guy like myself. And it's not going to happen. He's going to realize he made a mistake. He should have just been quiet all those times. But as for beef, when you said it's beef, there's no beef. It has nothing to do with ATT and Black Zillions. That's before he even got ranked. And then he started running his mouth saying everybody's afraid of him. Wrong. I saw him at the airport. I walked up to him. He was a super nice guy. So I felt like a jerk for even trying to step to him a little bit, but, he was super nice. I'm like, oh, it's cool. Then the next week he does an interview. He starts running his mouth again. He goes out, scripts a decision with Dong Young Kim, and then he thinks he's on the next champion of the division. No, he's not. He's just a clown running your mouth. And I guarantee you, he won't fight me.
Dang. That's strong. That's strong. Hey, I mean, it's hard to argue with that for sure. So let me ask you something I kind of heard today earlier. You said, he's out there running his mouth and everything. Is there any truth to kind of behind the scenes, like with the UFC, are they like kind of pushing you guys to go out there and be more, calling people out on social media? I heard that today on the MMA Hour. Ali Quinta mentioned that. So is there any truth to that? At least from your experience?
No, I don't think it's them pushing you to do something on social media. I think they're just letting you know that, first of all, you have this power. Social media is the way that people communicate nowadays. It's the way that people have access to you, fans have access to you. This is a spectator sport. And, they essentially let us know that, hey, you have this tool. People actually pay attention to you guys. If you want something done, the fastest way to get it done is do that and have your fans get involved in it. And so, I think it's more of a learning tool that they're trying to let you know that, hey, this is your power that you have, but no, I wouldn't say them pushing us to do it. It's just eventually you do get some clowns that take it overboard, i.e. Kobe Covington. But, he's booked right now, so I'm not interested in the guy's book. I'm not interested in waiting around. If it's meant to be, I will eventually beat him up. But I want Rafael dos Anjos. For some reason, something that offends me about the guy coming into my division that I've been in here grinding, putting in my dues for, trying to climb this ladder and get that title. And then you step in after you just got beat up by two little guys at 55. You jump up to the division and fight two guys that aren't even good. And then you're saying, oh, well, I want to go for the title. No, test yourself against a real guy like myself.
Do you tell Sean Shelby and Dana and all this? Or how receptive are they to this?
Immediately after I put the hammer on the last dude, you can go back and watch the tape. I walked up to the cage, looked at Sean Shelby, and I told him I want RDA. Make that happen.
Nice. What did he say? Did he give you a look? Did he nod? Did he just kind of, we'll see type thing, or what?
Sean Shelby's a classic guy. He nodded. He said, "We'll talk." That's pretty much what you get from Sean Shelby. But he's a good guy. So hopefully, he's gonna make that. It's not necessarily just him making that. It's RDA has to be man enough to step in there with me, because Sean Shelby can't make him fight.
For sure.
Ultimately, he has to want to fight.
Where's your confidence at? Now that you're lacking confidence, but it seems like your confidence is like on a 20.
This is my thing, and I learned at a young age. My dad always said that the loudest guy in the room is often the weakest guy in the room. And for years I just sat back and I was a sponge in the game. I just stayed in my own lane. I was just soaking up knowledge. And when you realize you have the knowledge, you realize you have the power, you have to let people know, because in this game, closed mouths don't get fed. And so, now that I know that I put the work in, I have all the skills that it takes to make it happen. I have to let people know, or else you're just gonna get overlooked, like I've been getting overlooked.
Yeah, I mean, eventually, people start noticing. At least I think. You go out there, you start knocking dudes out, making them do somersaults like you did on Saturday. I think you'll get more people tuned into what you're gonna do out there for sure. But did you go to the football game on Sunday, or did you head back?
Yeah. I was able to go to the football game. I met some of the guys on right before my fight. Immediately after Wayne's, I went over and met some of the guys, and we were invited to the football game, so I was able to stop by and watch this deal and do their thing. It's an amazing team, a good group of guys there.
Yeah, absolutely. I saw some of those pictures on social media. I wasn't sure if that was before, like earlier in the week, or on Sunday. So had to clear that up for sure.
Would you be busy knocking out people Saturday? Were you able to catch the Canelo Triple G fight or see a replay of that?
No, I wasn't able to catch it. I'm gonna catch the replay hopefully here today or tomorrow, whenever they put it up on TV.
Okay, I would just get your thoughts on what's your thoughts in general on crazy judging, because it can affect somebody's career. I know it's a different sport, but we know UFC's had some crazy decisions of late as well too.
That's why you don't leave it in the hands of the judges. You gotta go out there and put the hammer down from the start.
Yeah, absolutely, man. That was one of the things I kind of pump fake myself on tweets. A lot of times you'll fill out a tweet and then delete it before you send it. But out there, after your fight, I had a tweet typed up that you were trying to get to the back to watch the Triple G Canelo fight because you weren't wasting any time out there. But yeah, it seems like a thing right now, man. I guess obviously the biggest fallout with that fight was Adelaide Bird and her questionable decisions. She's got a history of them. Considering in boxing how much guys get paid, guys get pretty much a purse guaranteed, regardless win or lose. Whereas in MMA, most guys are on a 50-50 contract. Some guys at the very top are getting a guaranteed flat rate, yada yada. But with that being said, how much more important is it, to not only not leave it in the hands of the judges, but make sure you have competent judges, because you guys should be able to trust that the guys who are rendering their decision know what they're supposed to be looking for.
Well, that's why you don't know who the judges are. You don't know who the judges are. So you don't know who's competent and who's not competent. So you never want to leave it in their hands. You go out there and take care of your job.
Yeah, and let me ask you this, I guess, because the never leave it in the hands of the judges. I mean, that's a valid thing, because that's a thing that's rooted, I guess, based on incompetent judging, because the judges have known to been screwing fighters in the past. So, I mean, I guess it's more of a problem as a sport, with the sport as a whole, because you as a fighter, you should be able to rely on the judging system in place. Like as you've done in your past previous 5 fights, you've gone out there and dominated guys, but luckily you haven't been a victim of it. But what if that judging system fails you, regardless of whether or not who's on the fights or not?
Well, I mean, that's also why you have this outcry. If you go out there and you do your job and you win by a large margin like I have in those last previous 4 fights, they can't deny you. If they were to do a bad job, then you will get a huge outcry like the media is doing right now for the Triple G and Canelo fight.
Yeah, for sure. Do you believe that there's corruption in boxing?
I don't know. I watch boxing for the fights and the entertainment. I don't really get more into, the politics of it and things like that. So I don't know. I couldn't tell you.
Okay, fair enough.
Well, when will you be back in Texas, man? Maybe we could have you live in studio, man. We like supporting our Texas brothers, handling it up in the octagon.
Hopefully here soon. I'm not sure. I got some big things coming up. I got a little bit of traveling to do. Spend a little time with my family, but hopefully soon.
And so, Kamaru, being with the nickname the Nigerian Nightmare, wearing the face paint at the weigh-ins and stuff, you didn't do that for this past fight, but obviously, it wasn't a live televised weigh-in. But once you get yourself to that position, you say you want to be a UFC champion. Do you have a goal of bringing, the UFC overseas over to Africa? Is that something that you have like on your things to do in your career?
Absolutely. When it comes with the leverage of being champion, once I'm champion, my fans and my people will want to see that, and so I will take them to Nigeria or take them to the continent of Africa and put on the show.
Absolutely. Is Nigeria that main spot, or is there just pretty much if you can get them to Africa, that's a win for you?
It's a big win to get them to Africa. I'm not just a Nigerian, fighter. I'm an African fighter.
cool. Have you heard any rumblings of any of that coming up in the near future?
The what?
Has there been any talk like behind the scenes of them, trying to get into Africa, or is that something that you haven't heard anything about yet?
Well, I mean, it depends. Like I said, for them to go somewhere, they have to have a motive. They have to have a reason. So that's just something we have to give them. And so I got to go out there and do my part.
Boom. So you carrying the whole continent of Africa behind you then, huh?
Yeah, that's my part.
There you go. There you go.
Kamaru, we know you're a very laid back guy, always respectful. Do you think you have to kind of get out of character to try to ruffle up somebody's feathers to get that shot and get your shot?
The what? I can't hear.
That's it. We know that you're nice and respectful and laid back behind the scenes. Do you think you may have to kind of ruffle somebody's feathers to get that shot that you want? Like kind of like how Tyron and Conor were getting into it behind the scenes, something like that, similar with somebody.
No, I don't need to do that. Like I said, I didn't get in this sport because this is all I could do, and I'm just trying to be entertained and this and that. I got into this because of the competition of it, because I wanted to compete. I wanted to be the best at it, and in order to do that, I need to prove that I'm the best at it. So I don't need to ruffle anyone's feathers. If I'm doing my job and I'm continuing to destroy these guys the way I've been doing, then the fans are going to speak up. They're going to say, hey, this is the best guy. He needs to be fighting for the title. And they'll have no choice but to have me fight for the title.
And speaking of title, that segues me into my next question. How do you think you stack up with Tyron and the fact that he's almost cleaning out the top 10, so he's going to need to see somebody like you to have a new challenge?
If you look at the guys that he fought, look at the top 15, what one guy can you point at and say that guy doesn't have a weakness? You can look at everybody else and say, oh yeah, that guy has no ground. That guy doesn't go to the ground. That guy doesn't have wrestling. That guy doesn't have stand-up. You can't say that with me. I have it all. I'm the total package. You'll never see me get tired. I have striking. I have wrestling. I have grappling. It speaks for itself who the true dangerous challenger is in the division.
Absolutely. Yeah, strong right there. So if you don't get RDA, if you don't get Colby Covington, you say you want to go and fight in Detroit. I mean, are you going to take anybody that they give you, or is it you're sticking to these names that are ranked above you?
I want RDA. Everybody else is pretty much booked. David Meyer's booked, Masvidal's booked, Cerrone's booked.
Mm-hmm.
Who was the other guy? Wonder Boy's booked. Neil Magny just took an L. That makes no sense. RDA is not booked. What's Dillon?
What about, was Ponzinibbio booked? I'm not sure if he's booked or not.
Ponzinibbio is not booked. You know what? To be honest with you, I don't really know. That's exactly the reason why. No one knows. No one really cares. He's a tough guy. But at the end of the day, he's not tough enough. And, no one would really care about that.
Yeah, I just mentioned him because he's just coming off of a knockout in a headlining spot that was kind of a surprising thing to see him in a headlining spot in that fight night card. But
exactly, the fact that you just said it right there, it was a surprise to see him headline the card. And even after that headline, nobody kind of really cares. Not a knock on him. He's doing his job and he's winning his fights. But at the end of the day, I want something that's going to propel me into the title.
Very cool.
And where you training at? Are you still with the whole drama with the Brazilians and stuff?
No, I'm still with Henry. I'm training with Henry Move, George Santiago, my coaches. Still.
And that's out there in Florida, correct?
Yes, down in South Florida.
Gotcha. So how are you guys dealing? I know you guys had the Hurricane Irma come through. We got Maria on the way now with a Category 5 is what I'm looking at the tracker right now. I mean, how's it like dealing with all that stuff going on right now, man?
What it is. It's Mother Nature. I can't really control it. All I can do is try to keep my family safe while it's all going on. But it's a scary situation.
Yeah. Did you guys? Are you guys thinking about evacuating? Did you guys evacuate for the last one? How'd you guys handle Irma coming through?
I was actually, in Pittsburgh for that.
You're already gone, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so I was already gone.
Gotcha. All right, cool. Man, I appreciate the time, Kamaru. I know it's getting late.
Yeah,
I know
on
you're
the East Coast time.
been out there traveling a lot.
Yeah.
Got a fight in.
Yeah.
Watching NFL football games, everything.
I'm right now because I'm still off the clock and I'm still kind of coming down from that performance. So
You still on the emotional high, brother?
I don't really get emotional like that. I'm just coming off of just I've been exhausted traveling, just being gone. So just excited to be home and actually rest.
Absolutely. When's your next commentary job?
I don't know. Whenever Titan we put together the next card, and I will be sure to let you guys know.
Appreciate it, man. And we definitely will hook up with you when you're in the D, and so we can get some exclusive footage of you working out with Mr. Steve Wright.
Yeah, for sure.
I appreciate it, man. Congratulations again on the win. Thank you for joining us on the Slip and Dip podcast. Again, like Kendrick said, we look forward to talking to you again in the near future, man. Thanks for taking the time out.
My pleasure.
All right, thanks, man. Thanks, Kamaru, for joining the show. Once again, another nice guest to our spectacular show. Kind of get tongue-tied. But I like the man wants the shot. He's hungry. And you try to get him fired up on RDA. But look, RDA got a problem coming his way.
Yeah, man. I try to get him a little riled up about something, man. But he's just too laid back, too chilled. He's had a long weekend, so it sounded like he was ready to go hit the bed for the evening. But is what it is, man. He's a damn good competitor, and like I said, man, when we were talking to him, literally everybody was like, "This is the only lock of the entire card was him beating Sergio Moraes." And I agree, man. I expected him to go out there and do exactly what he did, and if he gets that RDA fight, that'll be big.
That'd be big. What do you think about Mr. Rocco? It's weird because for him to win the way he didn't look that good, but at the same time, there's ring rust. People say there's no such thing, but there clearly was.
There's definitely ring rust, but the thing that concerned me about Luke is that he looked exactly like he did when he fought Bisping. He was slow, and Bisping really put the blueprint out there. You get inside of him, get low, get inside, close-knit boxing range, and start throwing punches at him, and that's what he struggles with. And that's the exact same game plan David Branch tried to do. He tried to get in there, try to get him, within range of his kicks. Because if you give Rockhold time to set up his kicks, he's going to pick you apart. If you can't do that, like Bisping did, like David Branch did in the first round, got within close, made him uncomfortable, put him against the cage, even had him against the cage and tagged him with like a 4-punch combo. And I think if Branch had more power, it would have been night-night.
That was Chris Weidman throwing those punches night-night.
Yeah, man. David Branch isn't a knockout artist by any means, but, if he had more power behind him, it would have been the same thing. Because Luke was just sitting there eating him. He was, eating him while he was trying to grab him. You can't do that against everybody.
It seemed like the game's kind of passed him by in such a weird space.
I don't know. I wouldn't say all that, but I think he just needs to make some adjustments, man. Because I think people are going to start trying to do that more. We've seen two guys have success with the same thing now, getting in under his guard, getting within the range of his kicks, and then just crowding him and put the pressure on him, and that works.
Do you think the next logical fight for him would be him and Weidman and a winner gets a shot at the title?
Hey,
we got to see that rematch.
Yeah, I'd be down for that rematch. I don't know if that'd be the best thing for Chris right now, but
why is that?
I'm just saying, if Chris were to lose that fight, where does he go?
Well, who does he fight though?
I don't know. It's a tough spot. That whole division right now, it's in such disarray. Considering Bisping's fighting a guy who hasn't fought in years and is a welterweight, and we got a interim champion on the sidelines. It's just all sorts of mess in this division. I will say this though, Rockhold, he did make adjustments, man, and he's shown once again if he can get you to the ground, you're not getting back up. The dude is just, he is devastating when the fight gets to the ground. And again, he made David Branch tap to strikes, which is something that's, You know, a lot of people kind of scoff at like, oh, that kind of questions your toughness, your man card, whatever.
Nah, he knows it's not smart to get hit. He's like, getting hit's not cool. Let me show you.
Yeah, I mean, listen, the stoppage. It was probably maybe 3 or 4 more punches to go because he wasn't defending him. I mean, Luke Rockhold's a big dude, and he knows how to control you on the ground. And if he's raining down that ground and pound, you're not going to get out of it. I mean, we saw David Branch try to give up his back, try to roll back to guard. Like, it was just, like, there's no good way out of it. Like, it's not. You know, Chris Weidman had to do the same thing. It's just like, you know, once he gets you down there, boy, you're in a world of pain. So I'll say this: it was a good performance overall. Again, like you said, considering the rust, you know, we'll see if he looks different. If he looks more like second round Luke Rockhold at the beginning of his next fight, whoever it may be. I know he was calling for to get thrown in there against Bisping,
right?
You know, hoping GSP is going to pull out or something, but GSP has like never pulled out of any fights ever, so. I wouldn't put too much faith in that happening, Mr. Rockhold.
Moving on to UFC Japan, I don't care nothing about this card, man. I'll be honest with you. The whole card fight I'm very intrigued to watch is Claudia and Jessica, Joanna's latest 2 victims. Other than that, there's really nothing to watch.
Oh yeah, let's click through real quick. I mean, obviously you're gonna have a lot of local talent over there in Japan. Man, we got the double silhouette fight. Look at this. The double silhouette fight. Oh man. Oh,
you know about those silhouettes?
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Okay, so that's gonna be fight of the night right there. I mean, yeah, there's not really anything else that jumps off the page at you. No. I mean, Charles Rose, I don't like watching him fight.
I'm going to go DVR and only watch the whatchamacallit, and only watch the co-main and the main.
Man, Takanori Gomi is fighting. Oh.
I studied for the show.
Oh. Takanori Gomi.
He needs to retire.
Yes. So yeah, for sure. I mean, the co-main event. I don't see why this isn't the main event. To be honest with you,
exactly, they could. That's the best fight.
This should be the main event. Claudia Gadelha, Jessica Andrade should be the main event. I mean, it's 2 Brazilians in Japan. I guess obviously you want to have local talent be in the main event. So we saw Yushin Okami get slid in after Shogun got hurt and had to pull out. So. Good on him for stepping up on a week's notice. But that gives us OSP and Yushin Okami in the main event. Who you picking?
I got OSP and I got Claudia winning.
Okay. I'm not mad at that. I agree. Claudia is the Joseph Benavidez of that division. You know
right.
So, unfortunately, she's going to get a win. She's going to have to sit cage side with Rose.
Do you think she go up to 125? Because I think with Joanna, I so want to talk to her. I guess I need to try to wrangle her behind the scenes and get her people, let her come on here since she has handlers, literally.
Yeah.
If hopefully get good graces with them, and she can tell us herself. But I think she's waiting out and wants that 125 shot so she can be that 2-division champ.
Yeah. I wouldn't be mad at that at all. I'd love to see it. And, you know, JJ actually, today on the MMA Hour, was talking about how she doesn't really have any desire to move up to 125. So
until that belt gets thrown in her face.
Well, yeah, you know, but she talked about it in the past before. But you know, one of the things she was saying is that she's got her weight cut down so good now, it's easy to make 115. So she just want to keep building that record.
And another thing too, I think she realizes you got them headhunters like Juliana Peñas and maybe Shevchenko coming from 135 down to 125, and she don't want that in her life too. I think that's another thing. Like she can fight at 125 versus the right person. Like she would be like a Canelo at 160. Yeah. Like Canelo can fight 160 against certain people. That's kind of how she's gonna be. You know, UFC don't let you do that.
Right. I mean, it'd be good. I like to see Claudia go up there. I mean, Claudia Gadelha versus Valentina Shevchenko. Just think about that. That'd be crazy. Be a crazy fight. Yeah. Both ladies can get it to the ground. And then it gets real interesting when it gets down there for sure.
Or Claudia against Juliana Peña.
Juliana Peña. There's a lot of interesting matchups, man. There really is. It's just, we got to see how the rest of the season of Tough plays out. Have you been watching any of it?
Hey! Another person we try to work on is getting Montana Stewart, Dallas' own, on the show. We'll see how that goes. But I was very impressed with her all-around game because she's not known for striking, and her striking set up her takedown to get that submission last fight on Wednesday. But the fights have been really good.
Have they?
You don't think so?
I don't know. I haven't.
I didn't watch it.
I haven't seen it.
You got to do the homework for the show.
I'm literally asking. I mean, I haven't had.
They might finishes in every fight.
Yeah. Well,
Let's take that back. Take that back. The second fight was a one-sided decision.
Okay.
But yeah, the ladies have been going for it. There's really not much stupid drama. You know how people get into it with the drunkenness.
Yeah, they kind of
mainly guys. But the ladies' drama is like very surface. It's nothing like, oh, they like don't really like each other and they're gonna fight in the streets or nothing like that. We're not gonna see no cyber incidences when somebody you don't respect no bottom.
Now they've kind of gone away from that over the past couple of seasons, which is good, man. Focus on the fighters and their careers rather than making it like a real world thing. You know what I mean?
A real world thing.
I mean, that's what they tried to do in the past. They tried to make it all about the drama in the house, and some of it felt forced. People were doing stuff just to have their moment, be aired on TV and make the editing room. But
I'm trying to get pumped up for that Gaethje Eddie fight. That's going to be a crazy fight.
Yeah, it's going to be a crazy fight. I think someone's going to get seriously hurt in that fight. Both guys take a lot of damage. They take a lot of damage, and it's just makes me. I mean, I'm going to be excited as hell to watch it, obviously, because it's going to be one of those just bleed fights where all the casual
fan. Yeah, if you're a casual fan, that's the one you take your boy to the to Hooters and watch and eat some wings and like watch the dudes go at it.
Yeah,
there'll be no strategy up in that fight.
It's one of those, it's going to be one of those crowds where it's just like everybody's with the beer flying all over the place, like a movie fight crowd. That's what type of fight this is going to be going on. And technical prowess, throw it out the window because these dudes are going to get in there and just swing for the fences until somebody falls over.
Yeah, I challenge you to watch an episode this week.
I'll see if I can. I've been traveling back and forth a lot, stuff going on. But we'll see. I'll try to catch it one way or another. I do intend to watch the entire series at some point. It's kind of like a Netflix thing, man. I want to be able to have the whole thing and just
get your binge watch on, bro.
Yeah, I just want to binge the whole series, man. Screw all this waiting a week and stuff, man. I got caught up in that with Game of Thrones this season, and it pissed me off.
Yeah, another thing too is watch the Tough Talk with Karen Bryant and company on there. KB, her and Michael Bisping be doing it well.
That's good. I'll check it out. I'll get caught up for sure. Especially, I mean, it's an important season, man. They're crowning the first ever 125 pounds.
And they got some legit fighters. Like they got Roxanne Modafferi. She's knocking chicks out. She got the first knockout of the season.
Wow.
And she's the number 1 seed.
Wow.
And then Bob Honchek, former, or I don't know if she's still Karen Invicta or former. I know she's Invicta champion. I don't know if she's former or Karen. You're better than me. She's in the house. So they got some legit talent. Lauren Murphy, she's fought a couple of times on UFC cards. So it's not only they got some people off the street who will get that belt, so they're going to be a legit fighter.
That's what's up.
Well, with that being said, though, I don't see them holding the belt like kind of how what happened to Carla.
That's the
thing. You knew there was some headhunters out there for Carla. There's some headhunters from 115 and 135. Coming down to 25. That's why you don't know where that headhunter is going to be at, but there's some headhunters. There's like 3 or 4 headhunters for Carter's belt. There's like 10 headhunters for this belt. Whoever wins that belt better be ready.
And I tell you what, if whoever comes out of the house actually defends it once, I'll be extremely surprised. Extremely surprised. I mean, because you got girls trying to come up, girls trying to come down. It's like 9 to 10 headhunters coming. Yeah. It's a bad spot to be in. Like it's going to be nice to be known as the first ever, but at the same time, not a lot of people remember Carla Esparza right now. So, I mean, that's not a knock on her. She's been doing well since then. She's
the lady that she's known as the lady that you want to be down in person.
Oh yeah.
That yours truly saw. That's why I became a fan. I'm like, man, this little Polish chick is crazy. How was she can fight? Then she threw an 18 points combo and that's all she wrote.
Hey, don't forget Jermaine Durandamy was on that card too. She had an awesome performance too.
Well, not like JJ Champion.
She did. She knocked out who was it? Man, I forgot who's that. Man, I used to call her the Pachenko, Larissa Pachenko. I just remembered. So that was also a former champion. Fighting on that card. But obviously Jermaine went a different route with her title reign, if you can even call it a title reign, that featherweight belt. So.
that still got you mad though, then.
No, it doesn't have me mad at all. I mean, it's just kind of crazy, you know. Hey, you win a title, don't defend it, you just vacate it because you don't want to fight Cyborg. I mean, it's kind of strange. I still like her though. I still think she's got a lot of skill. Still want to see her get back in the octagon. You know, I just hope she, you know, everything is right with her. Whatever was, you know, the reason. You know, come out there and shut up some of those haters and knock somebody out again. You know.
Man, we got to hopefully take the show out the state, man, to New York. I'm booking my trip this week to NYC, UFC 216 for the second year in a row. I will say this. It's gonna be hard as hell for them to top 205. That was the best fight week from Wednesday to Saturday morning at 4 a.m. after the fight ever in UFC history.
Yeah, man, 217. Like, let's be real, man. Conor is the guy that's gonna make it, you know, the record-breaking card every year, right? It's gonna be the biggest card of the year if Conor's on it. 205 was definitely that. I mean, you got 3 title fights on this one.
Yeah, but you got some legit people. You got the whole GSP comeback. You got JJ Champion. Yeah. That garbage, whatchamacallit fight, Cody fight could be a main event. It was gonna main event, what, 213?
Well, all 3 of those could be a main event.
Yeah, so I think they got enough. They legitimately got a whatchamacallit.
Hey, Johnny Hendricks on that card too.
Shout out to Johnny Hendricks.
Let's see who else is on there. Randy Brown, Mickey Gall. Oh man, looking for a fight matchup right there. Look at that. Steven Wonderboy Thompson and Jorge Masvidal is on there too. There's so many good matchups on that card. It's definitely gonna be the biggest fight card of the year. I think, you know, they got to, unless if they throw a fastball right afterwards and sneak something in at the end of December. I mean, whew, you know, looking at the upcoming schedule, pull it up again, the whole deal. It's going to be tough to top that card to close out the year. 3 title fights, man. I don't know. But it's looking good. Obviously for the best fight card for the remainder of the year, rather. So, you know, looking at it, what's the other one? 218 in Detroit. That's the only other pay-per-view to close out the year. So, I'm sorry, 219 is on December 30th. And who knows what's going to happen there.
The end of the year one, I wonder what they're going to do for that.
I don't know. Like I said, 3 title fights, man, you're really putting yourself in a bind for the remainder of the year.
Yeah.
You really are. You're putting yourself in a bind.
And when's Stipe coming back?
That's the thing. Like he's talking about, he said today he's trying to come back in December. So possibly you could have a Stipe versus Kane matchup. That would be ideal.
I thought he's out to 2018 now.
I don't know what the hell's going on with that. Who knows? But, I mean, really, Cormier, maybe we'll see Cormier defend his belt. I don't know.
Man.
I don't know.
There's a lot of question marks.
But look,
man.
I mean, sure, you can throw Nunes in there again. Tyron's hurt. Conor, Max, we don't know.
Yeah, Max
you're really pigeonholing yourself, like putting 3 title fights on this card, and you got 2 more pay-per-views to close out the year. So who knows what they're gonna do? They're gonna have to do something to get creative. But who knows? There's not too many options out there.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't know, man. I don't know, because you got Demetrius defending the belt, Cody defending, Max. So you essentially you have to have Max, Conor, Tyron, and Cormier and Stipe. So you got 4 title belts.
But why don't I think a pay-per-view? I know they've set that standard, but you can have a pay-per-view without having a silly-ass GSP type fight without the belt. Why do you have to have a belt on every pay-per-view?
Not anymore.
Why is that? Because it's expected?
It's all about the entertainment value, man. Who can you put up there to sell? I mean, that's the IMG era we're in, WME IMG era we're in now. It's all about selling tickets, screw the sporting aspects out of it. What's the most widely appealing fight we can put on there?
But what if it's not a like, for instance, what if you had okay, Dominic Cruz is hypothetical, of course. Dominic Cruz against Mighty Mouse, the last man to beat him. It's not for a belt, but people want to see that fight. Like, can he beat him?
It would have to be for a belt.
Why does it have to? I don't get that.
Because people won't buy a pay-per-view if there's no championship attached to it. Look at all the pay-per-views. There's always been a title fight every pay-per-view.
I know. It's like the UFC set this false standard. And they're like, oh, and they got people like you. Oh, it's not a belt. I can't watch this.
No, don't say it like me. I'm just saying what it is for other people. Listen, I will watch any fight. You can tell me Dominic Cruz, Demetrius Johnson, I'm in for that headlining bout. I don't care if it's for a belt or not. Like, I really do not. I don't care if any of these fights are for belts. If it's a damn good matchup, it's a damn good matchup, and I want to watch it.
Gotcha.
Like, just because somebody gets this little piece of gold with some leather around it at the end of it doesn't make it any more, special for me. But all the casual fans are going to get excited about it more. The history books, yada yada. Their place, obviously pay is a big thing that's different for the fighters involved. Since they're a champion, they're, big payday difference. So it's just one of those things, man. Honestly, for me, I don't care. But that's the way they're selling it now. You gotta have title fights. Hey, got 2 more pay-per-views after having the 3 title fight cards. So
that's a good way to end this show, man. Talking about titles.
Absolutely.
Now, before we get out of here, man, on a personal note, I'd like to send out some condolences to Sean Adams. He was a great journalist, radio guy out of Austin that passed away suddenly. He's really big in the UT community and the city of Austin. Great guy. Met him like 4 or 5 times. Always was positive. Respected the game. Taught me some stuff in the little times, and he's gone too soon.
Man, that's sad to hear, man. That's sad to hear.
And major props to the UFC PR team that had a spot for him reserved for that big crazy game on Saturday night because he was supposed to have been there.
The UFC,
the UFC PR
Texas.
team had a spot reserved for that guy.
That's awesome, man. That is awesome. That's I can't think of another way to end the show better than that. So let's sign off. Episode 20. We made it. Till the next 10. To the next 10. Cheers. All right, guys. Catch y'all next time.